Good afternoon, everyone. On this December 11th, 2025, I'm James Frere with World Events, and I have two gentlemen here. One is Brad Kohler. He's running for governor of Minnesota. And then I also have Kurt Schwab. He's on the bottom. He is running for U.S. Congress of the Texas 33rd District. And he's going to have to leave here in a little bit, so we're going to go ahead and hit him real quick. And what I'm going to do is real quick is bring up a video of Brad back in September, and then we're going to go on, okay?
Sounds good.
Let me get this here. Let me get it clicked up here. There we go. Here it comes. I'm going to bring up a topic about immigration. And I heard that Minneapolis has a large Somalian group of people there. And how do you think they fit into the equation? If they're the issues, or is it just the normal people?
Oh, well, they're about 95% of the problems of all the fraud we have here. You've heard of the Feeding Your Future. We've had healthcare fraud, autistic school fraud. We've had real estate fraud, rental fraud, and it's all surrounded with the Somalian community. So getting in the office, that's one of the things that is going to have to stop is the fraud. We have an official, she's on the board of the fraud department that's running for governor right now. And she's on the board of the fraud department, and they have not done anything to stop the fraud. And so when you get these elected officials, again, who have this safety net and the establishment behind them, these are the exact things that we need to change. That whether you're on the Republican side or the Democratic side, we can't have these people that allow fraud to happen by any community. So things have got to change. We need more grassroots business people in there that are going to hold people accountable. And we need to hold quarterly auditing on every elected official, as well as a nonprofit, that if they're going to be a legitimate nonprofit, we should hold them accountable and do quarterly audits to see where that money is going. It's the taxpayer money.
So anyway, that was Kurt back on September 3rd of this year. Brad on September 3rd of this year, and just 2 weeks ago, all this shit hit the fan about Minneapolis and their Somalians and their fraud. So let's go back down to Kurt, and what's your input and what's going on in Texas on stuff like that?
They're still trying. The Muslim community is still trying to build that epic center, regardless of what the governor has come down and said. They've just changed names. I think they probably believe that as Americans and Texans, we don't understand the difference between names, but yet the same concept. Right in Dallas alone, there are 15 mosques and Muslim centers. There's over 100 in Texas. One thing, Brad, especially with you up in Minnesota, this day of prayer or hour of prayer, whatever, it should not be allowed in the United States, period. If they want to pray to their own people or do an hour or whatever the case is, then they need to go back home. Quite frankly, I'm glad that the president has suspended visas and so forth. It's getting out of hand. And I know the president is trying to do what he can, but running for Congress, it's not about standing behind him. It's about somebody saying that they'll stand next to him to help stop this.
Yeah, I agree with that because, I don't agree with everything he does, like going after the whole Somalian population. They're here illegally. They're involved with illegal things. They've let their visas expired or their green cards expired. Then get rid of them. It's just like a driver's license, like I told Brad right before you came on in the green room. If you have a driver's license, you let it expire, you're driving illegally.
Right.
You can get arrested. You can go to jail. And to me, you're an immigrant. You're coming to this country. Keep up with it. And don't cry when they come get you. Your visa's expired. They detain you, and you may get deported because of the process, which is different than an American citizen. The due process is not there for that. It's more of what's it called? The process of just you have a hearing, they find you're gone or illegal, you're gone.
Yeah.
Brad, go ahead.
So I don't know if you saw on the news recently here, we had a couple actually arrested for the autism fraud and the rental property fraud. And they stole $7.2 million.
Wow.
So our fraud committee lined up a jury of their peers, found guilty by the jury, and then the judge overturns it and says that is circumstantial evidence and lets them go. We didn't get any money back, nothing, $7.2 million. They're out free walking around. Now, for me, I have a hard time with this because, we're here in Minnesota and we've been the hotbed to a lot of negative topics throughout the world. Of course, we had Tim Walz, who's so in deep with George Soros, and this has him written all over it. But I have a real hard time, guys, thinking that these people from a third world country can come here and really outdupe our people, our elected officials, without some kind of help. I mean, tell me I'm wrong, but they're coming here. Somebody's signing the paperwork. Somebody's signing legislation to release that money to the Lutheran Foundation churches to do this. Now, shouldn't we also be going after the root of the problem? Who's signing the paperwork?
Yes, and I heard that Cortez is also involved with it, and I have a video of it that I may bring up later on. So, yeah, I think it goes all the way up to Congress and probably be beyond. And where is that money going? It's not going to the people here in the United States. And I heard from the sheriff he couldn't make it on today from Illinois. He's running for governor. That it's going to terrorist groups back overseas.
Yeah, that's the news lately. Al Schwab. We're losing. We've lost $8 billion here in Minnesota. I don't know how Texas is being defrauded or not, but I know the Sharia law and the mosque going up there. We have 25 in Minneapolis, sir. And believe me, enough is enough, like you said.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Thank goodness for Ken Paxton, our Attorney General. He's been on top of everything. I mean, he's digging into different cities on their finances and so forth. Because there are some cities, such as Dallas, unfortunately, that are still more towards the Democratic side. So we know that there's always something going on with them. And once we get the right people into the seat, such as myself for District 33, I'm not one to hold back. I served my country for 18 years. I've been overseas many times. I've been in Iraq 1, Iraq 2, Panama. And I didn't serve my country to fight for my country for my health. I did it because we are America. We're United States. We stand strong no matter what. We have our convictions, obviously.
Yeah.
But this does not give the right for Sharia law or any other types to come in and try and take over our country.
You are right. You could go to Germany, but you're not a German. Go to France, you're not a Frenchman. China, you're not Chinese. But you come here, you're American? To me, we cannot allow these people that are not born here in this country to become elected officials any longer. They've really tried to infiltrate here, and it needs to be stopped. I'm fourth generation Italian and fourth generation German, and which of course makes me white. So for this, we've got to start protecting our American way of life. Now, if you want to come here, it is done the American way, and we're going to protect the American way right here in Minnesota, just like you want to do in Texas, which I stole a line from Texas, by the way. I love the "Don't mess with Texas." I'm going with "Don't mess with Minnesota."
There you go.
I like that one. Well, I want to bring up a chart here, and maybe Brad or can sit there and look and tell me if I'm wrong or if this chart is wrong.
Hey, Brad, now all you need is a cowboy hat.
Brother, I love one, man. I saw your chart there. What was that? Okay, so
it's saying that's food stamps by, and that means Somalia. And I read that 40% of Somalians in Minnesota are do not have jobs.
That is correct. We also have every Somalian kid on welfare. We also have 50% of the Somalian kids that are claimed to be autistic. So we have a battle here, and like you that serve for our country, I'm a fighter myself, and we're talking about standing our ground here. We've had enough. We're drawing a line in the sand, and it's time that we, first and foremost, no more funding, none. You want to bring your grandparents over here that can't produce and be a productive person in society? That's fine, but you're paying for them. We are not going to be paying for people that are senior citizens that cannot kick into our system. I don't care what community you're from. That's just not the American way of life. Our forefathers came here and built this country. There were not handouts, and up until a couple of years ago, there was hand-ups where welfare started, but it was term limits, and we're going to go back to that. And so, if America was built on the backs of a lot of immigrants before, it could be done again. And we're going to dial back the clocks and make these people work.
Correct. No, I completely agree with you, Brad. We have a lot of people out there that are claiming SNAP benefits or what have you. And you can't go by appearances, so you can't judge people. That would be wrong. But I do think there are a lot of circumstances out there where people need to be terminated from the SNAP program and at least have the state or the city help them find a job that works for them. You don't always have to be standing at a job. There are sitting jobs, the jobs from home, so forth. But I think that's what we need to do. We don't need to criticize people. We need to help them and help them step up.
I agree. I agree. But, having a visa or a green card is one thing. But if you're not an American citizen, okay, it's term limit on your help. Yes. And it's shorter term than those that are actually applied for citizenship, and certainly for those that are American citizens. Because unless you've kicked into our system, you should not be receiving health care benefits or let alone money in SNAP.
Right.
Exactly. And, make it like a 2-year limit, like in HUD housing or whatever. 2 years should give you time to get out there and be productive instead of just taking from the system. Mm-hmm. I'm going to bring up another video here. This is from just a normal person. He's probably a podcaster, and it has some language in it, but so beware of it, okay?
Uh-oh.
Yeah, uh-oh. Ruh-roh.
This black dude just went off on these scamming, leeching Somalians, ruining Minnesota.
So let me get this straight. Y'all calling Trump a racist for holding these Somalians accountable, cheating the system, and 88% of them are on welfare. So that means us hardworking Americans getting all these taxes taken out of our check, and 88% of these Somalians are using them. What the hell is wrong with y'all? Then I'm going to try to make this make sense. You got the girl, Ilhan Omar, whatever her name is. She's here sending out a message to other Somalians, speaking in her native language, and she keeps saying our country, referring to Somalia, but she's in the United States and she's in the office. She works for the government. She is a politician. What kind of shit is this? You would never see an American go to another country, get in office, refer to our country, speaking about America in that country. I hope I made sense. Are y'all cooked? Not to mention, Tim Walz is running Minnesota as governor. Like, what happened to our country, bro? Like, this shit is crazy, bro. It's so bad that I'm seeing Democrats who don't even like Trump, and they're like, I actually agree with him on this. I don't like him. I still think he's a dickhead, but I agree with him on this. And then let's play a game of switch the roles. Put any other president in Trump's place right now, taking a stand on all of this madness that's happening. And y'all would not have an issue with it. Y'all only mad because it's Trump. Y'all soft as hell, so y'all don't like his delivery. And a lot of y'all wish y'all had the balls to, stand on business like that. You wish you can put your opinion out there like that.
So look, he is absolutely right. So let's think about this. And he really did break this down quite brilliantly. Let's think about this. So we have Somalians in America, by the way, okay, who talk about our country. When they talk about our country, they are talking about Somalia, not America.
So, what do you think of that clip?
Those guys are great. That was a great clip, and I like that. They told it like it is. And here's a guy who's not a fan of Trump, but believes that really that's a good decision by Trump, as I do too. But I think also that I think when Trump came out a few weeks ago and said that he wants to deport a bunch of Somalians, I think that was a little bit like the tariff announcement, just scaring people, and I love the guy, don't get me wrong, but there's only 400 illegal Somalians here, but we do have a lot of people stealing that are being guided by somebody. And again, what this needs to happen is we need to stop the funding to all these communities. If you're going to come here with 108,000 Somalians, is what we have here right now, our people that are working cannot sustain that no more.
Well, that's why prices, that's another reason. I don't know if Kurt agrees with me or you do, Brad, but that's another reason why our prices are so high, because you have all the people coming in here, you have supply and demand. And I heard that housing is going down in certain markets because they are getting rid of some people, or some people are self-deporting. But before Kurt goes, I want to show you this one video. And I do not like what they're saying. It should never be said on American soil. They need to go after those people, arrest them for threatening the United States and us American citizens. And it's here it is.
To pour all of your chants and all of your shouts upon the head of America.
At a
Now
very high percentage.
Yeah.
That is in Dearborn, Michigan. Just recently, about 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, those are the things. I'm sorry, Kurt, you want to go ahead and take this one for a second before you go?
Well, I will tell you, in general, there are around 30,000 Muslim and Somalis in the Dallas area alone. I think we do need to come down a lot harder than what we are to vet these guys, even in ride shares. I take one a lot, and I get foreign drivers.
Yeah.
A lot of them don't even know how to speak English. So how are they reading our signs? We need to come down a little bit tougher. We need to vet each visa critically. It's crucial. I'm glad the government's coming out and looking into their social media presence.
Yeah.
That will tell a lot. I think that's going to cut down on a lot of visa approvals. So that's just one part of it. There are so many other ideas and so many steps that we can take or are about to take. I just think now's the time to do it. It's very crucial. If not, I do believe that maybe not this year, next year, in 5 years, but down the line, if we keep letting, or not keep letting, but not vetting the foreigners that come in, America could be taken over. And you'll see a lot more of the prayer hours, or a lot more mosques trying to pop up. So,
Well, you're right, Kurt, because you look at the election, the past one, how many Islams ran for different positions with the government? And if you look at their doctrine and what they're saying, the imams are even saying, they're going to take over a government within, put their people, get them elected, and eventually that's how they want to change this country. They're going to destroy it from within. And if we don't step up as American citizens, just like this happening over in Europe, they're having a terrible time in Europe with the exact same issue. The only thing, they're a little bit further down the rabbit hole than what we are.
yeah.
I just find it mind-boggling to me how they are multiplying like they are.
That's
The
part of their
numbers
doctrine.
are growing, and again, we cannot sustain that here in Minnesota, and therefore we have to be aggressive with this, and we have to put a stop to it. Now, I'm all for legal immigration for every
Yep.
community.
Correct.
I am completely against criminals or those who want to become anti-American. So if you're for American and capitalism and being part of a community that has the American value and supports our American flag, by all means, you got my back. You got my support. But
Yep.
you start waving a different flag and saying that your religion is part of a chaotic mainframe to destroy us,
Yeah.
you got no support from me, and you're gone.
Right.
Yeah, I have many video clips of that, and it's in their doctrine. Like they said, most of us Americans only have an average 1.5 kids. They have multiple kids, and that's how they're trying to do it, by overpopulating the regular American people. And I have proof of it, and it irritates me on all that regards.
Well, Kurt, let me ask you a question.
Sure.
When it comes down to it, we get to the point where we say, well, we've got too many people here. We've got to ship you back. You're gonna have a conscience about that. You're gonna lose sleep at night. You're a former veteran. We fought for America. You fought for America here, and I tell you what, I'm as red, white, and blue as you can get too. But do we feel sorry for them because they came here to try to push their values on us, or we gave them a shot? They broke the laws of immigration, and you got to go back. What's your thought?
We shouldn't feel sorry for them.
Yeah.
If they come here legally and they're clean as a whistle, then absolutely. They've come here to live a life, a free life, a safe life, and absolutely. But if they come over here with fraud or saying death to America and so forth, no, I don't feel sorry at all.
I agree. What about they come here and make money, do not contribute to our society, and send the money home to promote and build wealth in their community. What do you think of that?
Yeah, I don't agree with that. If you're going to be here in America and be an American, you need to be just like the rest of us. You need to put it in the system.
Yeah, all the
Well,
money that I see going overseas from Minnesota here must be traced by every family, every household, every business. We must run it through the banking system. We need to shut down these Western Union types of businesses to
bingo.
allow this to continue. There is
Yeah.
an underground wiring system that I just heard of. We need to shut them down, and we must keep legitimate banking to protect our commerce here in our local communities in our own states.
Yeah. With that note, guys, I have to go. Brad, I'd love to talk to you more.
What's your website?
It's Kurt, Kurt, Schwab, SCHWAB, the number 4, Congress.com.
Thank you, Kurt.
Thanks.
I can forward that to you also, Brad.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Okay.
forward my information to him. Let's talk more.
All right, Kurt.
All
God
right.
bless.
Great.
Merry Christmas,
Thank,
everybody.
thank you, Kurt, again. Merry Christmas to you.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you, sir. All right, bye. So, there's a lot of stuff, isn't it? And the thing is like, you're right. If you're going to come here, partake into this country, don't come here and try to live off the system, you know. And I can understand the ones that's making money, they're sent, you know, to send back to their people in their country. But how much is that going to help rebuild their country and try to make it better so the people that really love their country originally may want to go back?
Well, you're right. I mean, if you love your country so much, then go back. I'd be more than happy to help them with that. But frankly, what it is again, I am for legal immigration. We need to dial this back, you know, quite a bit and make sure that we enforce that and make sure that when they are working here, that money that you make here in America stays in America. That has got to be a new law that you cannot send money overseas to support your family, to bring people over here. Nope, this is enough is enough. We've got to start being more vigilant about this because we've lost more ground in the past 4 years than we did 20 years before that. And right now, this is the new evil epidemic, and we've got to fight it right now. We've got to stand our ground.
Exactly. Now, you hit it on the nail on the head about money orders, Western Union stuff.
Yeah.
Because on my other job, I had to go to a meat packing facility in Beardstown, Illinois, to count the CHEP pallets, the blue pallets, you know, or in, you know, warehouses and stuff like that. Yeah. And in that facility, probably 80% were foreigners. And then I was at Walmart in the same town, because that was another one of my accounts on a regular basis, because I was a sales rep for Mars Wrigley. They're in there, the foreigners, just like you said, going up to Walmart customer service, getting money orders, sending them back. Or Western Union.
Western Union.
So,
yeah.
Yes, and you hit it on the nail, and I've seen it happening. So, what you said it's not false, because I've seen it with my own eyes. And it's like, okay, I can understand, you know, they come in here, they have families. It's just not, you know, Venezuelans or Guatemalans, or the Mexicans do it too. They come over here and they send money back to their family. But the thing is, it's still not going to help better those countries and invest it back into that country, like I said, to make them feel like wanting to go back to their home country that they probably have a big heart for, because I don't think they have a heart for this country.
Well, you're right. And, you know, and I mentioned earlier about the senior citizens that they're bringing over here that, you know, don't get me wrong. I don't want to be against people or helping people, but you bring in seniors in here, most of them with health issues. And now they're a burden on our healthcare system. And we, the taxpayers, are paying for that. And they've never kicked into our system. So there's got to be an age cutoff that says, no, you can't get a visa here or a citizenship or certainly not health care. If the families want to bring them over here, they have to pay for those. And it can't be on taxpayer dollars. If you are a person that's on welfare or health care system by our state, you cannot bring people over. It's got to be a cutoff. You cannot bring people over if you are not a productive family kicking into our system. It's just, this is what's going on. They bring people over. They get these temporary visas. Like these H-1Bs are killing our businesses right now. We're bringing over all these Indians, and one of my competitors is helping doing it. And you got Boston Scientific and Medtronics bringing over these Indians for half the money. They're living in free housing. They're taking away American jobs, and they're sending their money back to India. How does that help us? We have elected officials in there that just don't get it, and we need to get them out of there. And I tell you, again, this is why I'm running. We have had the wool over our eyes, asleep at the wheel, whatever you want to call it, long enough.
Yes.
And I tell you what,
Yep.
I have had enough. And, we got 8 kids, and I'll be danged if I'm going to have them move out of state, so I have to go visit them. We're here in Minnesota to stay, and I'm fighting for the people of Minnesota, and I hope they understand and realize that. But, it is what it is, Jim. We need to make sure that we have a strong leader in there that can say no without shedding a tear. Not that flamboyant piece of what in there now.
Yep. And then why is it our Congress, the Republicans, can't get their act together since we have control of the House, the Senate, and the presidency, get these bills passed before the end of the midterms in 2026? Because if we lose houses or seats, Senate or Republican, and then 2 years later in 28, you have the general election, the Congress needs to get off their ass, pass a lot of these orders, what Trump puts through, the
Executive orders.
Executive orders, put them into law before we have a possibility of losing the majority of the House or the Senate.
Well, we need to do better than that. As a leader of this state right here, I will ask for resignations for those jackwagons in there that are not doing anything. There are people that have been there for years and not wrote a bill and not done anything. They have taken taxpayer money and fallen asleep in House, in Congress, in the Senate. They have done nothing. And what needs to happen is accountability. We need to make sure these people are producing ways to help the American people. Now, again, I mentioned it earlier. They did not protect the American people here in Minnesota of their fiduciary duties, and they failed us with billions of dollars that needs to be retracted. We need to get that money back one way or another, or people should be losing jobs over that.
Exactly. And now I'm going to bring up another clip here. I love my clips, let me tell you, because it's the facts. It's just not us sometimes giving our own opinions. But I know you're giving facts, but sometimes you have to slap these liberals over the head for them to even try to understand what's going on. But I'm going to go ahead and bring this other clip up, and I think you're going to find it sort of interesting too, right here.
Congresswoman Omar needs to be shown the door and sent back to Somalia, and let's see how it works for you in Somalia, Congresswoman. Only can you come to America as a refugee yourself, bring all your people, all on the taxpayer's dime, continuing to receive taxpayer assistance, then tell us that after $1 billion has been stolen, poof, gone in the air, that it's the Somali people that are going to be hurt the most. Well, I wonder who stole the money, Congresswoman Omar. She needs to be shown the door.
Yeah, it's not just that, Jim. We have so many of them here on illegal visas, illegal marriage visas. Okay.
Yes, like her.
And including her and her brother. Okay, that to
Yes.
me is she should be kicked out of Congress. Why aren't we? Donald Trump. I need you. If you're listening to this, Donald Trump, stop doing what you're doing and fire people that need to be fired. She should be out of office. What are we waiting for? We have been nice enough. We've been nice enough. You know,
Yes, isn't that also part of Congress to do that themselves? I mean, because the representatives themselves, they have the facts. From what I know, he can't just fire a congressman. Don't they have to go through the Congress to do it?
they can be forced to resign.
Okay.
Yes, they can. And I'll tell you what, I got a list of people now on both sides, and there's going to be accountability. Now we blame the Democrats for a lot, and of course, we should. But I'm going to tell you what, if I was an elected official in either the House or the Senate, there's no way I wouldn't be coming out kicking and screaming. They would have to call the cops on me to allow this stuff to be happening. For people who have been in there since 2019 till today, all these billions of dollars stolen, and you're just going, oh, well, it's their fault. It's their fault. Children point the finger. Children blame other people. These people aren't adults. They're unprofessional, and they're ill-equipped for the job, and it needs to change.
Yes, I totally 100% agree on that. And that's like I said, the Congress needs to get their balls together, stand up, the Republicans, and right now, while we have the majority, get their asses going and push the bills to go ahead and make them into law. Because if we don't, it's going to get worse if we lose the 2028 election to, unfortunately, and I hope not, Pritzker.
Well, I'll tell you what, our elections come up in 2026. And again, I say these things. I don't really mean nothing personal to any of our officials. But the facts are the facts.
Yes.
The proof is in the pudding, whatever you want to call it. They failed us miserably. It cost me over $300,000 in my lost businesses. So you don't think I have a little bit of a chip on my shoulder? You bet I do. We need people going to do their job. And that's the problem here. And I'm telling Minnesota people, be careful what you wish for, because I'm the guy that's going to get the job done.
Exactly. And the thing is, you are a business owner. Now, how many of these in Congress actually have a business?
Yeah, honestly, I know we have smart people in business.
Yes.
In Congress, we have smart people in the House and in the Senate. It's not about if they're smart or not. They're not doing the job. And that's the problem. It's not that they're dumb. They did a great job. They get elected, but it doesn't stop there. It's like they stop learning. They stop fighting for the people. And the next time you see them is when they need your vote again. We need people that are going to continue to fight to make it better for us. Because look, again, another fact here, things are not better in Minnesota in the past 5 years. They're not better. So who's fighting for us?
Well, certainly not Cortez. Just like she says. I mean, in the videos and the clips, I mean, she thinks it's going to be worse on the Somalians. Well, how can it get worse when they're already taking advantage of the free stuff they're getting? I mean, it is because they may have to get out and work or support their own municipality.
Like, we have people that are high up in the Republican Party and the DFL, okay? And if you're so party controlled rather than the people controlled, this is where we fail. We need a leader that will work with both sides.
Exactly.
Can be the bringer of rain, the peacemaker, the person who can talk to both sides and make things happen. We don't have that right now. We have a complete buffoon that's embarrassing. He embarrasses this whole planet. If aliens were watching right now, the whole planet would be embarrassed, okay? But the voice of reason, a person with a voice of reason, and I do get along with both sides. Again, this is nothing personal. This is business for me. Before I make a decision, I want to find out, how does this affect me, my family, and the people of Minnesota? I don't think they're thinking like that, and that's the problem.
Nope. It's just like the budget, for the government. I try to tell people, they said, well, it's Trump. He's not passing it. I said, you know what? You have to have 60% of the House passed it. Okay. Then it went to the Senate, which you know that. Well, who held it up? And the only reason they held it up, and I tell you, it's sad what they did, because they had the U.S. people strangled in a chokehold, okay? And their main thing was about the Affordable Care Act. The thing is, the Affordable Care Act was bad in the beginning because I remember a relative when it first came out saying it was too expensive. And now that's the only thing that held that back. And I try to tell people, well, people would say, well, you have Trump. And I said, you need 60% of 100 people.
Right.
And all the Republicans voted for it. None of the Democrats voted for it. But when it did pass, because I think eventually they knew how they shutting people down. I had a woman here last night at my house, just a normal person, and she's saying, about people losing money during that time. I said, well, I was in the military, and I know what it was every October. If they shut it down, where we're going to get paid, so you don't get paid during that time. You still have to do your job. And what's bad about it is that when you actually tell the people they need 60%, which is 60 votes out of the 100, and when that actually passed, it passed with exactly 60 yes, not one extra, not one less.
Yeah. Well, again, Trump's doing a lot of things that are really good. Unfortunately, we still have the media that is being run by the left, and that's one of the problems. So there's I don't want to say the word mind manipulation here by any means, but we believe sometimes what we hear rather than doing the research to find out the truth for ourselves, and that is one thing I'd like to get back to. I don't think about the United States as much as I do Minnesota because that's where I'm focused at right now. But we have got to stop letting people pull the wool over our eyes and listening to the lies. We have got to do the research ourselves. If you want to find something out, just Google it. Look it up. Is that true? Google it. Check it out. We've got to be smarter people. Because if we continue to just let everybody sell us whatever, we're going to constantly lose. We're going to get dumber. And you know what? We've been had right now.
Mm-hmm.
We've been had right now. We've been lazy. We've been had. We let this happen. We did not watch our elected officials. We did not watch what was going on. So this is on us right now, and it's also on us to fix it. And that's what we're doing. And again, that's why I'm running.
It takes strong people like you, grassroots people, and like you said, people that's not been in there 40 years, 35 years, because they're ingrained in it so much. Then they're getting kickbacks from the system. They all need to be audited probably every year, because where are they getting their money from at 200 and whatever their salary is per month?
Yeah.
And they're coming out millionaires and billionaires on a congressman or a senator's salary. There's no way you did it without something coming back to you.
I started this 5 years ago. I never asked for donations. I did receive some from very, nice people, but I never go out and ran a fundraiser. And I've always been more concerned about, proving myself and making sure that my name stood out as a person of the people. I was not into the riches. Okay. I believe that's Proverbs 22. I'm for me doing the right thing for me and my name, not for the riches. I don't plan on becoming a millionaire. That's just not me. I think what we also need to make sure here, especially in Minnesota, is that, we stay in tune with the public. We used to have this culture of if something wasn't going right, call your congressman. Well, we've fallen from that. Again, we've gotten lazy. We've gotten to the point where, we can't allow our elected officials to, again, become lazy. I answer the phone for everybody. I respond to everybody's text, every email, every social media. I respond to everybody. I'm going to keep that habit because it's important to the people that you respond to. They will text me. I go, oh my God, you responded to me. I wasn't expecting that. I go, what are you expecting? I go, this is my business sense right here. If I was in business and you contacted me, well, if I didn't respond to you, you'd go to another business.
Exactly.
I want people to know that they can count on me. And then
it's having set values and ethic and good ethics. When the people lose those ethics, okay, or their values, that is the issue they have.
Well, we've got to raise the standards again. Bring back that culture of the people are important and not all about the money. People need to understand that, hey, you're welcome at the table. You just got to come. You got to call. You got to make an appointment. Text. You look at all the social media platforms you have now. There's ways to communicate. There's no reason and there's no excuse. All you got to do is pick up your phone and send a message. And guess what? It's that easy. But if you don't do it and you don't get involved and you want to be a part of the process of at least communicating your voice, then you're part of the problem, not the solution.
Exactly. That's
Blaming everybody else and look inside yourself and go, I'm going to get involved. Well, maybe you can't get out. Maybe you don't have any money. That's okay. Text, email, go to social media. All those things are important. And the candidate you vote for is the one that responds.
Well, that's what I tell people when I have shows. I said, you don't like what's going on. Call their representatives and voice your opinion, because you get enough calls, they're either going to listen, or if they don't want to listen, then they really don't care except for themselves.
Now, there are people out there that do want to just talk to you. So, and I love that sometimes. So that's why I always say, text me first so we'll schedule a call and I'll let them talk. And, I've made so many friends that way, and building those relationships to me are very important, because I tell you, I always said, I'd rather have 1.6 million friends than $1.6 million. And for
Yes.
me, it's hey, how's it going? And when I have Thanksgiving and Easter, I go right down my phone the whole time. Happy Thanksgiving. Everybody gets one, and so those are very important. And longer story about why I got into that, but it's a good one. And I'd like people to know that, hey, I'm still here thinking about you,
Well, here's the main thing I've always told people in the jobs I did when I was supervisor and everything else. You want your reputation to precede you and not follow you.
Okay. I like it both.
Well, because, if you have your reputation precedes you, and I'll give you an example why. Because I was on the Mars team, and then they cut the team, or I left it for a supervisor job. I came back to that same team, same stores about 3 years later, and they say, I'm glad to have you back, because they respected what I did. I did not lie to them. And that's what I mean. You want your reputation to precede you, because if you have a reputation that usually follows you, it's not a good reputation.
No, you're right. You're right. And
Yep.
Jim, I'm just a regular guy. I've done
Like I am.
I've done some really cool things in my life, but when I put my heart and mind to something and get passionate about that, there's nothing can stop me from doing it. I got into this because I believe God gave me this mission, and I've never been in politics before. And all of a sudden, one day I woke up and I'm like, wow, this is so I researched it, I checked it out, I learned more about it. I got in. I ran for a couple other offices before to find out what it's all about. And then most importantly, what Minnesota needs is leadership and how to fix Minnesota. Since I started this in 2020, our state has really sunk. And I don't have to sell you on it. Everybody's hearing about it on the news.
Mm-hmm.
So
just like Illinois.
I'll tell you what, we have all these people jumping into the governor's race here, 12 candidates right now jumping in.
Wow.
Okay. And I'll tell you what, the definition of insanity, right?
Mm-hmm.
Doing the same thing over and over and again, expect a different result. So do you really want another politician to get in there? Someone who's party line, bought and sold by PAC money? Certainly now you've heard about Mike Lindell.
Oh, yeah.
Mike Lindell. I'll never say nothing bad about my opponents, but here's where I'm at with Mike. And I've read his book. I think he's a very passionate guy. I think he's very successful, but I don't think he's the leader Minnesota needs. If he was, I would bail out today. and say, Mike, I'll support your campaign. But I just feel it in my heart that this guy, we don't need any more negative attention in Minnesota. And this guy, I mean, it's all about Mike. And
Well,
that's what I'm afraid of.
I'll tell you another reason. Now, this is my perception of it. I met Mike Lindell in person once. I was at a Trump rally in 2022 just outside of Quincy, Illinois. And Trump was there and everything else. All of a sudden, the crowd started roaring. We looked to the left, and here's Mike Lindell coming through the VIP line. Okay, so I have a feeling that's one reason he's probably jumped in the race, because he's been involved with Trump heavily, and he thinks that will help pull him over the line. But the thing is, they have to look at the character, the person himself. Okay, and could he be a detriment to if Trump endorses him? Could it be a detriment to that? Because there's the issue I see with that. And yeah, I have a picture with him, but it's an opportunist picture in the crowd. But yeah, I met him, briefly talked to him, not much at all. But I see that why he would probably jump in the race, because he's been heavily involved with Trump. And your input into that one.
And again, it's nothing personal against any of my opponents here. It's about really who is going to give this state everything they got. And it's going to take that from them. Who's going to be here traveling all over, giving every inch of energy, everything they got, blood, sweat, and tears to fix this state. Now, I've been talking all over the state and on some of my videos about the solutions for Minnesota. And that's what I bring to the table. I'm not about, you've never heard me talking about, even tonight, I didn't say walls. I didn't say, all these people. I don't go after those people, because those are people that are going to be in the past. We need to focus on the future. And that's what my campaign has been about since December of 2024, when I announced a year ago this month. So that's what this is about, is how we're going to fix Minnesota, how I'm going to put more money than ever in Minnesota pockets, lower property taxes, and create more jobs here. That's been the solution. At the same time, yes, we need safer streets and safer communities. You betcha. We do need to have transparency, trust in our government again. Absolutely believe in Doge. But most importantly is, we've got to get back to the Minnesota that we are, a beautiful state that people want to come visit, not an embarrassment that we've had.
Right.
And
it's like,
do that. Yeah.
I thought about, since I got remarried about 4 years ago, that, going up to the Mall Americas, but I heard that really went downhill, so you hear things like that, and it makes you skeptical of going, like you said, it makes you skeptical into that city or that state.
I have so many plans to making Minnesota a destination again. Going to bring the tourism back here, and yes, make Minnesota that proud, biggest mall in the world that we used to be proud of.
Right. And that used to be proud of it. So I hope they're still proud of it. And, but like I said, it's all comes back to the influx. And I'm with you. I do not hate immigration. I believe in immigration. But like you said, and everybody else, do it the right way. And just don't let people into this country unvetted in the last 4 years, or how the Somalians, I heard Obama had a lot to do with getting them up there, so I don't know. But, it's like during COVID, okay, they were opening up the borders like mad.
Yeah.
Okay. They forced people to get the COVID shot. How many of them that came across that border ever got a COVID shot?
Again, James, I could sit here all day and get more and more mad about the problems that other leaders have done, or come up with the solutions and be the leader that everybody needs right now. And it's just the latter, and that's what I want.
It's changing away from the norm, and that's what it is. And the norm has gotten so bad, it's ingrained in people. It's ingrained with the politicians. It's been up in D.C. or for years. It's ingrained that it's a normal for them to take advantage of the American people, and it just needs to stop. And that's where I think I see you coming from.
Well, people look at this as a problem. I look at it as a true opportunity here in Minnesota. I mean, not to make a joke here, but even if I did half as good as I said I was going to do, we'd be doing 100% better. But I mean, there's so many options that we have. I want to build another airport with cities around it. We want to bring more commerce. And again, we want to bring the traveling and what I say, tourism back here. This is a beautiful state. We need to open up the mines up north. There's $4 trillion in the ground of cobalt, lithium. There's gold, silver, there's copper, there's helium, there's iron ore. There's so much, not just American steel, but Minnesota steel that can help stimulate our economy. We have $4 trillion in just that mine alone, and another $3 trillion in the oil drilling. So we have the opportunities here. We've got to get this administration who sides with these environmentalists that stop all this stuff and over-regulate and get money coming and flowing back in, creating jobs, creating businesses. We need to make sure that the silent majority, the silent majority, the baby boomers and the Gen X's don't do well. They did to us, the millennials and Gen Zs. We got to make sure that we don't do that to the alphas and the omegas. We need to make sure that our next generation is handed an opportunity, not a problem. And that's what was handed to us. So we didn't make sure that our kids' future has a great one. I want to make sure that kids can buy homes again, can have great jobs again. Minneapolis is empty right now. I have so many opportunities with not just manufacturing coming in, but in like the IT divisions, AI coming in. We have so many things that we're planning on doing. We have vertical farming we're talking with, scientific means of thing. We have so much going on right now that if the wrong governor gets in right now, I'm afraid we're going to continue to flatline and this state's going to die. And so
Well,
we got to have that energy.
you think that why? And of course, it goes back to your mainstay and the norm. Why would they rather have things in China be involved with everything, to where you have, like you said, you have the minerals right there. Let's get it going and help your own state.
And my hope, by helping this state out, it helps America out.
Exactly.
Because we need that silver for these chips, and we need the gold, and we need, silver's up right now. So believe me, a lot of people want that silver out of the ground, but we need iron ore to build. We need all this copper, and having it right here at home, we can, like, again, create jobs, create more money coming in. From the geothermal scans, it looks like about 70 years of mining and many more with the oil. Okay. So, and then, like I said, we got to build other cities and another airport to make sure that we do have a good culture here. I have a dream to build this and create this. Again, the Minnesota used to be great. When I moved here in 1996, economy was great. We had all these Fortune 5 and 700 companies here and growing. And since then, we've decreased because of our taxes. We've lost more and more jobs. And we need to bring that back. So I have great ideas what we're going to do with businesses here. We're going to offer zero business taxes. We're going to reduce property taxes right away, as well as income tax. So these things got to happen in order to bring people back here. And I want to use our immigration, our immigrants that have come here. I want to help them become legal because we need bodies. We need bodies to grow here. I want to build these vocational schools. So if you don't want to go to college, you can become a plumber, an electrician, a welder. We need to do these things. In order to do all these things, though, we need money. And the one way we all get money right now is our taxpayers. And so by creating these other revenue streams, we can do these great things and make Minnesota great again and make it affordable again.
Right. And the same thing, you talk about taxes. The thing is, you can't have all that money going out and don't know where it's going to. So that's again working with the budget constraints instead of like Illinois is doing, raising taxes, raising taxes, raising taxes, because they're doing the same thing, funding the illegals, and so all they do is keep raising taxes, but yet he doesn't want to stop the immigration stuff in Illinois.
Jim, I have such
Same
a
thing.
great idea for our seniors and veterans that can't collect more than what they have on Social Security. I have so many great ways for to help them out and get them jobs. I have a way to reduce taxes here, not just by the revenue streams, but putting our felons to work, getting them
Exactly.
together in workhouses, working again. That $120 that we pay for every one of them $120 a day. Get them working it every day. Get them paying their own institutional fees and their restitution. Get them having a driver's license when they get out and money in the bank. You want to talk about fixing crime, people? Let's get to the root of the problem. Let's make it so they don't reoffend first and foremost. Let's get them being productive in society. These are the things that leadership does. Not come up with this silly thing that they just came up with. They call it the Extended Leave Act they just came up with. It's costing us more tax money, and now people can take up to 12 weeks of paid vacation. It is
Wow.
the business killer. This is the difference between putting a business person in and a politician who has no clue and is ill-equipped to lead. And this is what needs to be stopped.
Well, it's just like you relating to people who's been in jail or something like that.
Yeah.
James Mendrick could not make it on to the 2 o'clock one with you today, who's running for governor. He's also the sheriff of DuPage County in Illinois. And he has a program for offenders through a college to where they get they learn a trade in college while they're still in jail. And that way, when they get out, they can have a job and paying decent money compared to going back out in the streets and doing nothing. But
Right.
Brad, and you got the right idea. You just need to get people to think that way, and hopefully they can open up and understand and not listen to your legacy news who wants to make it all dreary when there is possibility out there. There is a light at the end of the tunnel. It just has to be done the correct way.
Well, you're right. And it's about, I don't want to make people sound like they're ignorant, but it is ignorance why people don't buy a product. So you educate them on, here's what we're going to do. Here's our next step. Here's our next step. This is what's going to cost us, but here's the end result and how much money you're going to save and how this is going to better our communities. So what we need to do is lay out a clear plan for people to understand what's going on. So that way they understand, and that way there's less stress.
Right. I have
Yeah, go ahead, Jim.
one more question.
Yeah.
And then we'll get ready to wrap this up. China, I don't know how much farmland you have that China owns. What do you think about China owning farmland within the United States?
If they own any in this state, which I believe they do own a little bit, I will pull that. I will not have a foreign country, not foreign people who are citizens now. If you're a legal American, you can own property, but if you're a foreign country, I am pulling it. You're done.
And especially having a land-raw military bases. It needs to be taken away.
And certainly no toll roads on our roads. There are countries coming in and actually buying up the toll road plazas at some of the states around the country that I will not let that happen.
And that's what we need to stand on, and you need to stand on and get the word out there. Well, Brad, it's been great again. I mean, I love it every time,
Thank you, Jim.
and I'm glad. I just wish Sheriff Minder could have been on because I'm going to have to get you in touch with him.
Sure.
Because he's got great ideas. He's probably one of the top. I would vote for him, and because of his stance on crime, his background in forensic evidence, going after money's disappearing. Yeah. It's a quagmire out there.
We're all pretty worked up right here, right now. And again, we're always looking for that villain. But we got to realize is where did the root problem come from? It's not
Years
like,
ago.
It's not like we left $1,000 on the table and walked out of the room and someone took it. It was dispersed. And for it to be dispersed, someone had to sign for it. Who did that? That's where we need to go.
The ones that's been in power for so long. Because you and I both know food stamps, Section 8 and all that, it's not made for a lifetime to sit there and collect. It's to help that bridge to help better yourself and get out of that predicament.
You're right. And I'm for helping people.
Yes, me too.
A term limit on the ones that are able bodies. But what I want to do for those people who think, oh, I can't, I want to provide opportunities that say, well, can you pick up a phone? Well, yeah. Well, good. We're opening call centers for all of our government agencies. We need call center people. You'll be picked up if you need to be picked up. But everybody must work. We need to become a working state again to turn this around. And I'm not going to come in and go, Rrr! I want to present this the way that they understand that either we're in this together or out you go.
Right. Yep. Good idea. And that's how I like it. That's how it should be. Well, Brad, it's been great. You know, I still see your pictures from your MMA fighting back there. So, you know.
The good old days.
Yeah, the good old days. But anyway, we'll go ahead and wrap this up. And, I mean, we're just going ahead and end it. You can leave if you want because I got to get ready for a show at 4 o'clock. So
yeah, okay. I appreciate you very much. And
keep in touch, brother, and I'll get that coin out to you. I just have to figure out how to
go to my website at bradkohler.com, and you can find me on social media. Okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
And everybody, this is James Frere. I am with World Events, and that's what it's turning out to be now. And I'm from Illinois. I'm your host. My guest, Brad Kohler, was on the show, and Kurt Schwab from Texas. And again, God bless. You have a Merry Christmas, and let's keep that light of the tunnel going.
Merry Christmas. Thank you.
Same for you. Thank you, everybody. Good night.